Jacqueline?
Mark, Patrice, it might look a little fishy to some city councilmen and board members doing other business for the city. And when we saw conflict of interest, we wondered what it could be too. What we found was an absent paper trail.
As the restaurant and the catering service to do a lunch at one of the venues here in town for, I believe it was the wastewater treatment plant. It was a workshop they were having. They wanted to have fried chicken and roast beef, and we of course said sure.
George Azar spent his days at his downtown Terre Haute restaurant. He didn't think he'd need clearance for who he was feeding.
Never once did it cross my mind that anything was out of line or any paperwork needed to be filed or anything like that.
Apparently it does, because Azar spends his nights here, sitting in this seat of the city council. When state accountants ran Terre Haute's 2011 annual audit, they labeled Azar's catering a conflict of interest. In hindsight, Azar says all he really needed to do was sign a document, reveal his earnings for the service, and essentially give notice that he'd be heating up in the kitchen on this assignment.
Unfortunately, we just failed to do what we're evidently supposed to do, unintentionally.
The councilman wasn't alone. 3 others are listed. We spoke with each of the men today. Their thoughts on the case all seemed pretty similar.
It's a clerical issue, and it's going to be taken care of as we move forward.
The scene in the rearview mirror offers a lesson to the councilman and the city overall. Missed paperwork can be costly. Now, instead of missing it, they'll make it part of the job.
Probably every city official will be signing a piece of paper just to cover that.
As for this case, all 4 men say the ink marks were missing, but the other parts of the law don't seem to apply.
Even the statute says if you knowingly and intentionally do this, and neither me or the other councilman in question knowingly or intentionally did anything to dupe the city.
Now this afternoon we spoke with a Terre Haute city attorney. He told us that while charges are possible in cases like this, the city's not looking at filing any of those as of now. Mark, Patrice.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Now you may be wondering, what are the dollar amounts being called into question here? Between all 4 men, $4,281 and some change.
You'll see on your screen each individual's name plus the amount charged to the city. Now, it's important to note the transaction is complete. The state uses this required paperwork to make sure businesses don't mark up their cost or charge unfair amounts when dealing services with the city.